grief-stricken siblings cope with their loss.
One of the things that your father had was a house.
Then, did greed take over?
I haven't talked to her since we sold the house.
It was sold sort of in the family.
Yes, ma'am.
Did your sister consent to that?
Yes, she did.
Under false pretenses.
You think you got shortchanged.
Yes, I did.
How much did you receive?
$886.
That doesn't sound fair to me.
Judge Judy.
Miss Atwood, the defendants are your siblings.
Yes.
And you are one of 6 children?
Yes, I am.
And your father passed away in 2018.
Yes, he did.
And the estate wasn't, it looks to me as if large enough to be probated, and your sister took over the responsibility of dividing up the assets, and you think you got shortchanged. That's the long and short of it.
Yes, I did.
Your siblings say that you owe your share of funeral expenses. They have a counterclaim.
I do.
You do. You're Charles?
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that your father had was a house.
Yes.
The house was sold to whom, Charles?
My son and my wife bought it from the estate.
For how much?
$7,500.
Was the house ever listed with a realtor?
No, ma'am.
It was sold sort of in the family.
Yes, ma'am.
Did your sister consent to that?
Yes, she did.
Under false pretenses.
Just a second. Your sister consented to that?
Yes, she did.
Okay. I want you to tell me the circumstances surrounding your sister consenting to you purchasing a house.
I didn't purchase the house.
Your
My
wife?
son did. My son's the main owner of it.
And your wife?
She's recanting because my wife's on the deed.
Just a second. Maybe. I don't know what her motive is, but from what you just said to me, your sister consented to selling the house to your son for $7,500, but when it was sold, your son and your wife went on the deed.
Yes.
And that's why she said it's under false pretenses. I mean, just look how quickly you understand it. Now, when she consented to your son purchasing the house for $7,500, that's her nephew.
Yes.
She's not related to your wife. Your sister.
Yes, she's...
She's not blood related to your wife.
No.
Is this your first wife?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. One of the few. So you both should understand that when a house is left as an asset and it's sold internally to a family member, there has to be an appraisal, and everyone should be satisfied that it's a fair selling price for everyone if it's being sold to a relative, unless the family says, well, the nephew really is a nice guy, he'll never be able to buy another house, so we're going to give up whatever monetary gain we might have to let him buy it, to give him a shot at life. Family may do that. Not your wife. What's your wife doing on the deed?
Because she loaned him part of the money to buy the house. So my son said after that...
How long have you been married?
30 years, probably.
30 years. Do you work?
No.
Does she work?
Yes.
What do you do?
I get SSI because I get disability from my arm.
For how long?
Last 5 years.
So instead of being on the deed, why does she just hold a mortgage?
It's something her and my son come up with. My son said, we'll just be part owner with me.
Did you tell that to your sister?
I haven't talked to her since we sold the house. This is the first time I've seen her since then.
Okay.
No contact.
And you say she consented to your son buying it,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you're the one who says that she owes you $377 towards your father's funeral expenses.
Yes, ma'am.
Forget it. Did your father live in the house?
Yes, he did.
And your son lived with him?
Yes, he
in
did.
the house? How many bedrooms were in the house?
2 bedrooms.
And your son is living there now?
No.
Is anybody living there now?
Yes.
Who?
I don't know the guy's name. He's a tenant. My son rented the house out after he fixed it, the rest of the way up, and rented it out.
So he's using it as a business?
He is, yes.
Interesting. Did you tell your sister when she consented to having your son purchase the house for $7,500 that his intention was not to live there but to use it as rental property?
As a rental property, yes.
Is that what he told you?
No.
What did he tell you?
His son told me that he was going to move in, fix it up, and I could visit any time so I can have memories of my father.
So you spoke to his son?
They had it rented before the house was even sold.
No, that's wrong.
Yes, they did.
That's wrong, ma'am.
Did you ever have a discussion with your brother?
No.
It was just his son?
Yes. He swore to me that he was not going to sell it, he was going to keep it and live in it himself.
Did you receive, Miss Atwood, any money from your father's estate?
Yes, I did.
How much did you receive?
$886.
Now, that was from a life insurance policy?
No, that was from the selling of the house.
Is that correct, Miss Jones?
Yes.